The latest report on how big companies are dodging tax may not come as a surprise, but the sheer scale is shocking. Companies like Starbucks and Google have already been in the firing line. But it's not just one or two companies that are prolific tax avoiders. In fact, between them, 98 of the UK's top 100 public companies, the FTSE 100, are running 8,000 subsidiaries and joint ventures in onshore and offshore tax havens. The UK's big four banks are some of the worst culprits. Barclays, for example, owns hundreds, but campaigners say it's not just the big tax avoiders that are the problem. When 1 in 5 of the world's tax havens are owned by the UK government, they say there's a problem with the entire system.
This is a big problem because you or I, we all have to pay our taxes and we get taxed straight away on our pay slips. Now, this doesn't happen to companies. Companies actually pay their taxes much later, and they find various ways of inflating their expenses in one country and putting the profits in another country. And so that is something that all governments need to sort out.
David Cameron has pledged to put tax avoidance and offshore secrecy at the heart of next month's G8 summit. But many of the offshore jurisdictions used by the FTSE 100 have close ties to the UK. So it's not clear if Britain's really ready to put its foot down.
A lot of these tax havens are actually British owned, but if you take away the tax haven status, then actually those tax havens themselves, their economies will collapse. And the British government's got no interest in that because that may require some sort of taxpayers' subsidy coming from mainland Britain.
One Liberal Democrat peer has said the new figures make us ashamed to be British. ActionAid, the charity that compiled the report, calls tax havens one of the biggest hidden obstacles in the fight against global poverty. They say poor countries lose 3 times more money to tax havens than they receive in aid each year. But none of these companies are acting illegally, leading economic experts to say the system needs a complete overhaul.
The rules and regulations now, if you look at tax books and tax codes, you have to be a genius because they're just hundreds and hundreds of pages. So the trouble is that you have to then employ a lot of tax consultants. The tax consultants then advise people to put the money in all these different accounts around the globe. So we really need a massive simplification. We need a much easier, understandable tax system.
For now, the system remains the same and billions are not being paid. It may be legal, but it may not be moral all the same. Nagas Mobile Press TV, London.